created Clippers and Cops in 2018 after I was an Atlanta police officer for 16 years, and after being debating with people on social media about citizen and police engagement. Instead of sitting back and just complaining about it, I thought, what can we do to fix it? And so I thought a barbershop. For a black man, a barbershop is our country club. That's where we talk about everything under the sun. So I felt like, why can't we talk about issues dealing with the police? And so with that, I didn't want it to just be myself. So I started picking guys that had different backgrounds but were in the law enforcement as well. But then me being a gang detective, I had relationships with gang members and different people within the community. And so I basically wanted all of us in the same place at once so that we can have these open dialogues, real talk, not the candy coated, but have real conversation. And when we first started it, March 1st of 2018, we literally started with just men. But then after the first one, I got contacted by a single mother who basically said, I want to bring my son. And we didn't want to discriminate against her. And so we opened it up to her, everybody then. But the biggest fear was we were going to have activist groups coming and we were going to be arguing, not accomplishing anything. But over time, we invited them and we did have arguments. But it was a mutual respect type of argument. And then afterwards, we became colleagues. Through the George Floyd protests, we relied on each other. We actually had conversation about different topics to provide insight. I could provide insight on how the police is feeling. They can provide insight on how regular people are feeling. And so if we really want to make change, or when people say, what is police reform? I say, we're police reform. It takes everybody to come together to have these dialogues. If in a marital situation, if you're having problems, the first thing they're gonna do is make you get counseling and talk. And so why aren't we talking? If the police is supposed to be for the people, why aren't they meeting with the people of the community to have these conversations? And that's what we're trying to do. But in doing this, we discovered that the demographic that truly needs to be having the conversations, 15 to 25, they weren't coming in droves. So we started Clippers and Cops Campus Invasion. That's what brings us here today. Since they weren't coming to us, we started coming to them. And so we started going to schools, colleges, prisons, churches, whomever have us, so we can have these conversations because they have questions. They want answered as well, and we're trying to make ourselves available to do that.
And so tell us a little bit, you said this is the target demographic, 15 to 25. Why are you targeting that age group specifically?
Me personally being a gang detective, that's who came across my desk the most because lack of knowledge. A lot of young black males, young people deal with situations that they don't understand the consequences, they don't understand what comes with what they're doing. So we're gonna lay it out for them, decision making, goal setting, do's and don'ts on traffic stops, sexting, social media, rap music. We talk about all these things that they relate to. We don't talk at them, we talk to them. And that they are able to open up and talk back to us, and that's how we get them to understand that their actions can be dire, and we're trying to prevent that. We have them write, this is a larger group, but we have them write how they felt about the program, and one of the kids said that. He said, I appreciate that y'all opened up about yourselves and was able to share about yourselves, which shows us that you're human. And a lot of adults, they see where you are, not knowing where you came from. Each one of us got to where we are by setting a goal and having a mission and accomplishing it. And they need to understand that this doesn't happen overnight. In this day and age, they think, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, I'm gonna be an Instagram, I'm gonna be a TikToker, and they don't understand that's like hitting the lottery. That's possible, but that's only possible for a chosen few. So with everybody else, you gotta lay down a blueprint and groundwork and build. They are in the root stages of their life. So they have to, if they set a solid foundation, they're gonna be able to stand firm. If they don't, they're gonna, just like a tree, they're gonna tilt over, and with a storm come through, it's gonna knock them down.
I just want to ask something real quick then. Can you just talk about how this program how does this impact people not only who may have grown up in a country club or people who grew up in a crime-ridden neighborhood? There's benefit to all of us, right?
Good question. So this impacts everybody, and the reason that it is young people, I don't care what your demographic is faced with these same decisions. If you grew up in Florence and you go off to college in downtown Atlanta, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Emory, you are faced with some of these same problems. When you go to the gas station with your new laptop, you can be targeted. You're green to this environment. So we try to give people ideas and tools to be able to survive in life. It's not just a black thing or a white thing. The stuff we talk about affects all people. And we're trying to be the persons that are the people that bring all together. I think a lot of people have so much to say about what's wrong with the world, but when asked what are they doing, they're not doing anything. For us, we are actually doing things. We've been doing this now for almost 4 or 5 years. We started in a barbershop in Atlanta, and we just did a Zoom call in Greece. So that's how big our platform has grown in 4 years. We had over 19 countries on this call. We've now went to several different cities, several different states, and the goal is to get corporate sponsorship to take it nationally. I think that what we're providing, these problems affect all young people all over the country, all over the world, and I think if we got the proper backing, we can help make a difference. We're not saying this is an end all, but it's a start.
If there's one thing.
Yeah, just take over, man. He ain't doing that.
If there's one thing that you want these kids and faculty to take away from today, what would that be?
Think before you act. There's consequences. Think 2 steps in advance before you do something. As an adult, there's no such thing as a temper tantrum. There's only, if you react too quick, you can be charged with assault or anything of that nature. Think before you act. Lay down a foundation, goal set. Make sure that you have a plan on your life. That way that when your friends are trying to pull you in different directions to do dumb stuff, you are like, well, no, I'm working on this. That doesn't line up with what I'm working on. And so that's what I think is the biggest point that they will learn from us.
When we came in there a little earlier, I heard you talking about how a lot of people don't understand the real reality when it comes to jail and prison.
Right.
Why do you think that's important to teach these kids, and what exactly are you teaching them about?
So for me, I did 16 and a half years with the Atlanta Police Department, 10 as a gang detective. And I saw young men and women throwing their life away every day over stupid mistakes, not realizing the consequences of their actions. A lot of people, or young people, have family members that are in jail, prison, and they may feel that it's the place to be or it's glorified because they're not telling them what actually goes on in some of these places. Some of these places are horrible, and they're not places for anybody to be, but you keep trying on shoes, you can end up there as well. And so we actually show them what prison looked like. For me, I have countless pictures, videos, and things from dealing with that environment, and I'm able to show them. A lot of people can talk about a lot, but when they see it, that registers more because then they got something to resort back to and say, oh, I remember that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like that.
Is there a reason behind the New York type of attire?
So we have merchandise. I have different jerseys. Tonight we're going to be at the Cutting Edge Barbershop in Sheffield. You'll see me in a different jersey. We got merch. All the patches, as a police officer, when you meet different cops, we share patches. So I got stacks of patches, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with them? And so when I get a jersey, I put them on, and then I try to get a hat to match. I think of different sports teams. I'm a Cardinals fan, so don't think I'm a Mets fan, but I got a Cardinal jersey for tonight, but the jersey matched my Griffey, so that's why I try to be swagged out.
And people can buy the jerseys, right, and support Clippers.
Correct. We have different merchandise. If you go through our website, clippersandcops.org, you can get a jersey too, and we basically have them custom made with your name, whatever number you want, and so forth and so on. A lot of the kids, when we start, they don't like the police, but by the time we're done, you'll see one of them gonna say, can I get a jersey? I want a jersey. So, yeah.
And if people wanted to schedule you for a meeting, can they do like Zoom meetings, in person? Can they schedule for all?
Correct. All they got to do is go on clippersandcops.org, and there's a section where they can send their information, and so we will get back to them to try to schedule it. All of us that do this, except one of us, have real jobs. So we have to make it work within our schedules to try to get everybody on board. But we try to schedule it out to work, and we try to partner with the local police so that we're not just in their backyard doing something. We want to be able to do it, pass the torch to them, and then they keep it going. But also we try to go to a barbershop in the community so we can reach the older crowd as well. We don't want to just alienate regular people. We want to hear all people. And what you learn is most people have different relationships with their local law enforcement everywhere. Some they love them, some they don't. And we went to Toccoa, Georgia, and they weren't even aware of some of the problems they had because they never sat down and had a simple conversation.
What years have you played basketball across
I played at UNA from '99 to '01 basketball, and in '01 I also ran cross country. I graduated class of '02. I'm the alumnus of the year in '20. I'm also on the board of the directors of the Alumni Association.
Homecoming week is a good time for you to be.
That's exactly why we scheduled it this way, so that it rolls right into homecoming week, and that way I'm already here, and then we can reach out. Dr. Jimmy Shaw is the one that actually established this. I met him last year when I came to visit for the Alumni of the Year banquet, and he and I sat and had a conversation, and he loved the program, and through partnership with him, he's the one that got us here.
2020 year alumni.
Correct.
I think I'm good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.